Life is sweet. Let it sweep you off your feet.
Hi, this is Ali and Find Your Joy. And today is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a magical, wonderful, beautiful time. I have with us this morning Melissa Robin, and Melissa is a transformational empowerment facilitator and photographer. And
Mm.
I just love to say those words and how that all works together. Good morning, Melissa. Hi.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going really well. I was thinking about how I first found out about you. I think I was on whatever Facebook, some kind of a social media site, and you had done a post about some kind of retreat that you had done the photography for. And we had a retreat coming. I was just like mind blown. I was, oh my gosh, like how does this person exist in the world? And I never knew. How does everyone in the world not know that you exist? Because you create this just, you don't want to use the word magical so that it's diluted or powerful, that it just, the words that come to mind, you don't want to overuse them. It's just that what I saw that you created and what I was looking at was with women was so
Mm.
beautiful and powerful. And I thought I just have to know her. I have to find out
Mm.
more about this incredible woman. So
Oh.
how did this even start? Or would just talk to me, Melissa. Tell me all about
Ah,
the wonder that is you.
yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. And God, it's like an onion, right? There's so many different layers to how I got to where I am today. But I think a little nugget of all of the places I've been to get here is I think when I was a teenager, I really struggled with the fear of being seen. I was really awkward. I was like really struggling with body dysmorphia and mental illness, and really, yeah, just had a hard time being myself. And for so long, I hid. I hid behind the camera. And when I found the camera, I was a junior in high school, and I took a darkroom class, and I kind of just fell in love with it. I was like, oh my God, it's here's a way that I can express myself without words. And it felt like I finally had my tool. And I call it now my tool of transformation because it has transformed my life. And it started with a self portrait project junior year of high school. And I was like, resisted at first. I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And I finally did. And I started to see myself as art, and I saw how much that really impacted my life and helped me grow. And I knew then that I wanted to help people on this journey. And I started off doing like weddings and portraits for a decade, and then had my own kind of spiritual awakening in my early 20s and started studying like priestess arts and yoga and meditation and movement and temple body arts and all these different healing modalities, and really spent the last 10 years reclaiming my own priestess, my own healer, and kind of weaving all of these things together: photography, meditation. I was a dancer for many years, dance therapy, breath, and created the goddess session and different embodiment and empowerment photo sessions to really help people tap into their true essence and who they really are. So, what I'm doing is actually creating safe containers and brave spaces for people to fully express themselves with intention, with breath, with movement, and really allowing the magic to happen. I do this all outdoors in nature, so that really adds to the magic that you're seeing in all the photographs.
Wow, I mean, and we'll definitely have links so that the listeners can um, find some of the art that you do. I've just started to see myself as art. That is probably going to be going forward one of my favorite quotes. I'll probably write poems, songs, maybe a book about it. I'm not sure. I just thought that is um well, I don't even have words. That is one of the most beautiful statements I've ever heard. And um, humans, we just need to, even just to explore that sentence, to what a beautiful discovery, what a beautiful journey and evolution. I love that. So I'm not even sure where to start, but where, so can we unpack that a little bit? Because that's, I mean, that you said that and it just pierced my heart in the most beautiful
Mm.
way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much we could go into there, and I feel like over time it was like, I don't know, there's like all these expectations, especially on women, to like look a certain way. And I remember as a teenager looking through these magazines and being like, I don't quite look like this image that society is like pushing on us. I look a little bit more queer, gender queer. I was very much a tomboy, so I felt like there's like that lens of what society wants us to be. And then there's
Mhm.
the lens of ourselves of like looking in front of the mirror. And for me, I was seeing this distorted image of who I was. And I think a lot of people also struggle with that, especially women when they're teenagers, because of the distorted lens of this is how we're supposed to look. And now, don't even get me started on like the social media of all the teenagers and preteens like growing up on social media and having like all of this content in their faces
Yes.
all the time and all the filters and all the like fake stuff. It's really intense. So I'm like, now more than ever, we need people to show up and really show us that like with all of our flaws, with all of the trauma we've been through, all that we carry, we are still beautiful inside and out. And I feel like if I was able to transform from like suicidal teenager with crazy body dysmorphia and mental illness to a successful artist through like transforming myself first and then sharing that gift with the world. And I think that a lot of the times our trauma and our pain and these things that we've been through oftentimes can be our gifts that we share with the world. And for me, that was helping people feel safe enough to fully express themselves authentically. And that is so beautiful, right? When we can
Mhm.
really find ourselves somewhere in there and
Right.
allow that to shine out. It's so powerful. And I am getting teary-eyed thinking about it because I've witnessed this thousands of times photographing people. It's like this moment where it's like, oh, I can like soften. I'm getting out of my head and back into my body. And I'm actually like expressing myself in a way that feels authentic. And when you see the images, so many people are like, oh, I'm not photogenic. I'm like, those are my people. Because I'm like, wait, look at these photos. And they see them. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, because you're actually taking off the mask, right? Of like
Mm,
what society wants you to be, what you think you should be, and just being.
right. And it is interesting when you're talking about that. I mean, I look at like my grandkids who are 16 and 20, and I look and it breaks my heart because I think of um, the world that they are, the soup that they are stewing in of this life that's completely I know people talk about the generations before us and things were messed up then, and I'm like, well, yeah, I mean there's humans involved, so things are always gonna, there's a messed up situation.
Yeah.
But I can't even imagine having been a teenager, and I was just, I mean, I knew whatever magazines existed, but there was not a constant barrage of you should
Mm,
be, you should be, you should be
mm-hmm.
into the same level. And I think it, like what you're talking about, it can be very difficult to even find ourselves to even know how to present. I love that when you said that about people being photogenic, it's a little bit more about removing that layer and just being there and finding their own true self. So what does that kind of, so you do, so one of the things that I was really excited about that you do is you will go to events like a retreat and be
Mm-hmm.
a photographer capturing those moments within the retreat. So that's amazing enough. Um, but you also do like private sessions at these retreats, and I guess elsewhere too. I imagine. Um, so what does one of those what does one of those private sessions look like when you're out in the wilderness, out in nature somewhere, and you're with a person who's a human? So they're insecure and in their head and oh,
Yeah.
I'm too tall, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm either too much of something or I'm not enough of something else. And usually it's a mixture of that. So how does that look in a session? How does that play out?
Yeah, yeah, that's a beautiful question. And that's why like I have a hard time using the word photographer because it's like, yes, and there's like so
Yeah.
much more. Because usually when you hire a photographer, you show up, you get your photo taken, it's done. You're like, then you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't
right.
like these photos.
Yes.
So yeah, the my sessions really start once you decide you're like, yes, I want to do this. And I send people a guided recorded meditation and a prep guide to really help them feel supported in the pre-session experience. And then we do a half-hour vision call where I ask them what came up in the meditation and we kind of dream and vision into what it is that they want to embody, what they're ready to step into, any intentions they have, and then all the details of like wardrobe, location, all that fun stuff. So it's like a really supportive experience. And then during the actual day of the photo session, we'll meet at our chosen location. And from there, we do a prayer, thank the land. I always ask permission from the land before I start photographing. And I guide people through a guided meditation to help them ground, to get out of their heads and back into their bodies and remembering what their intention is. And from there, we're anchoring into that intention, and I'm helping them with breath and with somatic movement to actually feel that word in their bodies. And I actually do very little posing in my sessions. Like if someone's awkward, I'm just like, all right, let's breathe into that awkwardness. Let's shake out our bodies. And it's like if someone's intention or word of what they want to embody is freedom, it's like, okay, what does freedom feel like in your body? So I'm guiding people into these beautiful movements, and I'm photographing more like a cinematographer would, where there's like beautiful music playing. I'm helping you breathe into your body, helping you move, helping you embody your intention, and then capturing the photos and have like all different packages depending on sometimes people want to add on cacao. There's like a full day session where we really drop into more of like a full on hour of an embodiment session before guided to really help people like let go of that fear and to really feel into their bodies. So there's a couple different offerings in there, and these are all in nature. And I like to say that I'm holding a safe and brave container for people to fully express, but Mother Earth is really holding us in her container as well. And really connecting to the earth is a part of this magic. And yeah, this was the goddess session, which I created 8 years ago. And from there, I've been listening this whole time. And what I've noticed is that people are like, oh, can I bring my friend? Oh, can I do this for my bachelorette party? So organically, this was starting to turn into more of like a group offering. So the session evolved, and now I've been doing group photo rituals with groups of 10 people. And from there, it evolved into offering retreats. I've been offering retreats for the past 5 years where we like expand and go even deeper. And then the culmination of the retreat is being photographed. And for the past gosh, how long has it been? 15, 20 years I've been getting hired to go on other people's retreats
Mhm.
to help hold space, to offer these group photo rituals, and to do one on one individual sessions with the clients as well. So there's a lot of different ways to play, but the intention is still the same to help people embody their full expression. And when you bring me to a retreat, it's really powerful because people are already in the magic of the retreat space, so they're going
Right.
even deeper into that space of being seen, and it's really powerful, especially when you get you get in the community. That's the magic of the retreat, where you're like dropping in together, and just so much magic unfolds in that space.
It's just it's so beautiful to me to think of it just, there's so many layers to it for me that I can just see how beautiful this could be. So how now you're located in California?
I'm in Portland, Oregon, but I do
Oh, you're in
live.
Oregon. Okay. Why did I think you're okay? So you're in Portland, Oregon. So how, and you travel the globe to do this? Well, how does this work?
Yeah, I've been traveling internationally for 2 decades doing photo sessions, and the past 8 years, doing retreats and things. This next year in 2025, I'm doing 6 day retreats here in Oregon, and then one 4 day retreat here. And then I have clients that fly me all over. I'm going to be in California next month, and yeah, we'll see where else next year. I just got back from Iceland for a retreat. That was really magical.
Oh
And
my gosh.
mhm. Excuse me. Yeah, I love to travel. I often joke that like this funds my travel addiction.
Well,
Although the older I get, the more I'm slowing down. I'm like, oh, actually, you can come to me.
well, that's an option too, I guess. So what might that look like if I say someone like me was looking at putting on a 1 or 2 day event. I'm in Victoria, British Columbia. So outside of retreat, so that's another thing that we can chat about for sure. So how would someone like do you if someone had a number of people gathered together in one place to do the goddess sessions or something like that? Do you travel to go to do those things? And how might that look if someone's listening right now and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. Okay, so we want to let you know how you can do this. How can they do this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, reach out to me on Instagram or through email. I'm sure you'll post the links in here. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm open to traveling. If you have a retreat or a group of people, I would love to come if the timing aligns. And a lot of people fly from all over to come do sessions with me here in Oregon. It's so beautiful here, and there's so many epic locations. We have like desert, ocean, forest, rivers, all the magic. So, yeah, there's a lot of different ways that we can connect and weave together. And I like to say that all of my offerings are a co creation. So, if you're doing a specific retreat and have themes that you want to bring through, I can bring them through in the meditation, but still have the same intention of helping your people be seen and feel supported in that.
That's awesome. And when you were talking about what, now I'm trying to remember there was a word you used that wasn't costume, but what someone might choose to wear.
Hmm.
What was that?
Yeah, wardrobe.
Word, yeah. Oh, a really hard word. Wardrobe. Now, do people supply their own? Do you have some things that people can use? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, I have like a goddess closet here at my home studio in Portland, Oregon. So for like the bigger half day and full day packages, people can come over here and I can support them in getting ready. And then I also, when you sign up, that guide I was sharing that I send with the meditation has like a what the fuck do I wear guide,
Yes,
which
yes,
has like photo examples. It has links and discount codes from my favorite wardrobe designers that I've been working with for many years.
yes.
And then also like digging around of what you already have in your closet could work really well. So there's a lot of options in that guide as well. So people feel really supported in that.
Oh, that's, I was looking at the photography. I've never had professional, well, like, no, I'll say never. I've never had really professional photography done. And I've seen, there's different ones that people have, like the glam things, and those are lovely. Those are lovely too, for sure. But when I was looking at the things that you create and what you bring out of these amazing women, and I thought, oh, that just seems more like something that would make me see myself the way
Mm,
that I can that I the transfer between our heads, what we and our heart, and the place that we sort of know that we either want to be or we are fully embodying, or how that can be, or the part of us that maybe no one else sees, but we know is there, but it's maybe hidden, or maybe it's sacred, or there's these different ways. And that's what I saw when I was looking at the photography. I thought, um, glam shots are nice. I get it, right? I get that, but this seemed a little bit more like who I really am. I'm discovering what's really me inside, um and maybe how to walk that out.
Mm.
Maybe it's sometimes, people will put back in my day, we used to put like a picture on our fridge, and that would be what we were inspiring to be. And sometimes I think it's really important to remember that who I'm inspiring myself to be is myself.
Mm.
The myself that I know is there, the myself that I know I want to walk in, the myself that is maybe a tucked away, sacred, beautiful spot that only some people ever get to see, or maybe it's I'm just out and bold with it all the time. But that's what I saw when I saw your photography, when I saw your work.
Mm.
And I love transformational. So I want to just break that all down. Transformational. So we go into this sacred bubble, and a change is going to occur, and that it's empowering, an empowerment, that there's going to be a place, because empowerment isn't a gift that someone gives me that I don't already have. Empowerment is the stepping stones between who we really are and our ability to embrace it. And then the
Yes.
facilitator. So I thought that's a really, those three words say very clearly to me what you offer.
Mm. Thank you. And you touched on something so beautiful there that has been reflected back to me. So thank you for saying that and for seeing that in my work, because I really believe that these powerful reminders, our photographs, are these, like, we're creating this portal, right? Where you're deciding what you want to step into and what you want to embody. And even if we get you into that embodiment and I'm capturing it in that moment, you have like this living, breathing manifestation of who you desire to be. And I've been getting this reflection back from so many of my clients that, like, I feel like I am in that embodiment now because I have this actual manifestation, powerful reminder that I printed and put on my wall. So it's like you're setting the seeds of really stepping into what you desire most, and it's really powerful and beautiful. And I have
You
these.
know what? I was too. I was just totally. I was getting, as we were discussing this, I was getting uh, goosebumps. I was just, but it felt like more than just an emotional response. It felt like a confirmation. It felt like something I recognized. It felt like when you're in the middle of something that you know that you were just born to do and born to be a part of, and that powerful thing comes over you. It's not as simple not to take. I never want to take away from an emotional response because they're quite lovely as well. But just that feeling of, yes, that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the thing right there. That's the thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I that's so beautiful. So, the other thing, if you can explain to me, because what does a cacao offering? What does that really look like? Because I've never been to one. And I just wonder, and I'm guessing that it's as different as many people that do it, I suppose. But tell me walk us through. What does a cacao offering look like?
Yeah, so cacao is a beautiful plant medicine that originated, the cacao ceremony originated in Mayan culture. And I don't call it a cacao ceremony because that is not my lineage, but I
Okay.
was gifted my first cacao ceremony about 9 years ago now. And I totally had an awakening from it. It opened my heart. And since then, I've been studying with different elders in Costa Rica, to really learn about this plant medicine and deepen with it. And I've developed my own personal practice over the past decade. And since then, I would say probably about 5 years ago, I started weaving cacao into my offerings. And what this looks like is I prepare the ceremonial cacao and we drink it together. And what cacao does is, in science terms, it releases theobromine in your brain, which then allows serotonin to come through and make you feel very open, heart open. It is the medicine of the heart. And for me on my journey, it really helped me with like overcoming anxiety and depression. And I really feel that it helps people get out of their head and back into their body. So it's another tool of transformation to help people really feel like they can move and breathe and just go a little bit deeper into their bodies. So, yeah, it's a beautiful, powerful medicine. And I hope that we get to share it together someday.
Yes, I would love it. I'm going to ask way more questions, okay, about this. So
Yeah.
first of all, I was saying cacao as in thinking it of as chocolate, and cacao. I don't know if that's a different pronunciation, probably the proper one, knowing how but is it in relation to chocolate?
Yes, so cacao is the purest form of
Yes.
chocolate. It's originally a fruit, and then they open up the fruit, they take out the pods, they dry it out, and then they roast those pods and they crush them down and put them into a brick. And then, the stuff that you get like hot cocoa or hot chocolate and these kinds of things are
Yes.
more refined versions of that. Like they put sugar and milk and all sorts of
Mm,
stuff. This is like the rawest version of
yes.
cacao, the fruit, of the purest form of chocolate.
Okay, now is it in any way a what's how I trying to say this? Other than it's opening a person up and it's a joyful experience. Is a person in any way in an altered state in terms of, I mean, there's mushrooms, there's all kinds of ways that people can do that. So could you be part of a cacao ceremony and then drive?
Yes, you
Okay.
could,
So
for
you're not
sure. Yeah.
high. You're not, I'm
Well, it depends what your definition is. Like if you do a
right.
big enough dose, you definitely will feel like whoo, like very open, but it's not altering. There's no hallucinogenic experience, but you're
Right.
definitely having a big opening. But normally, like I wouldn't like drink a huge ceremonial dose of cacao and go drive. Like I would do movement because that's what really helps to open up the pathways. And it's so beautiful. But yeah, you're not having like a psychedelic crazy
Right.
experience.
I like to ask
No.
these questions because I really don't know. And I thought I'm just going
Yeah,
to
no, it's
ask
great.
because because there's many things that are available right now that probably wouldn't work with my particular chemistry of my brain,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
absolutely.
I get that are really great for other people, but probably I'm not going to do, any mushroom ceremony type thing, right? It
Yeah,
wouldn't,
I consider myself like sober, so I drinking
right.
cacao doesn't break that for me, and it's
That's
very
exactly where I'm
beneficial.
going. Thank you so much because
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure it out before I indulge in something. I'm also, I I have many sensitivities and allergies, so I as soon as anything is going to actually go into my body, I become very hyper vigilant and want to know every little thing. So this is great because I've had people ask me about this before, and I'm like, I know you think I know this because I'm sort of in this community of people, but I don't know that yet. I see it offered all over the place, and I just haven't asked someone like you tell me
yeah,
exactly what this is going to look like because I'm a bit of a nervous Nelly around these things. And
yeah.
so I'm sorry, all the Nellies out there. I'm not saying you're nervous at all, but anyway. Well, that just sounds really beautiful, and yeah, I look forward to something like that with you as well. I would be very, um, my sense with you is that you're a person that people are quickly at ease with. And everything about you says to me that I can trust you, and that you would have the utmost respect for every person that you come in contact with, that's how you roll.
Thank you for seeing me.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else? I mean, this is just, I'm all excited, and I look forward to doing things in the future. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look yet. If it's going to be at a retreat, if it's going to be somehow I create an event, and it will work. Everything will align, and you'll be able to come here, or I'm going to drive myself down to Portland. I don't know how it's going to work yet. I only know that it is going to. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you would like to share with the listeners about just this beautiful niche that you've just carved out, that's just so lovely?
Yeah, I mean, we covered a bunch, but yeah, there's so much I could speak to. But I think I'll just close with sharing that I am a ritualist at heart, and a priestess, and an artist. And I think that we get to create the life that we desire. And for me, being able to weave all these things together and create a life that revolves around art and ritual is such a gift. And I wish that for all of humanity, that we find the courage to fully express ourselves, and that we are able to offer and share our gifts with the world. This is my deepest prayer, that all humanity is free and can freely express themselves. And just want to anchor in that prayer. And whether we work together or not, thank you for listening and for being here. And thank you, Allie, for having me here. And I look forward to having more conversations together and weaving together when the time aligns.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you, Melissa, for taking the time to come and hang out with us today. I just really appreciate you. And to our listeners, thanks for coming and hanging out with us for a while this morning. And yeah, all the information of how you can contact Melissa yourself will be there. And you check out my website, because somewhere, I hope within 2025, there will be a post up there about us doing something together.
Yes, calling it in.
Exactly. So for now, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and do remember to find your joy. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found a piece of your joy in this episode, I would love to hear about what came up for you, so that we can continue to grow the impact of this show. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, find your joy.